Okay, Mike, so I reached out to you and you were kind enough to say yes on short notice because this happened 10 minutes before we even went on the air today. Tony Busby confirming that 20 of the 24 lawsuits, or all lawsuits that have been filed against Deshaun Watson through he as the lead attorney, all but 4 are being settled. What's your opinion on that? What to make of that news?
Well, they say that wisdom often never arrives at all. It's better if it comes late, and this was long overdue. It was something that needed to be done from the get-go, before the first lawsuit was filed. It was mishandled by Deshaun Watson's representatives. They not only failed to seize upon an opportunity to settle the Ashley Solis case for somewhere in the neighborhood, I believe, of $50,000 to $75,000, because the opener was $100,000 and it's always negotiable downward. They pissed off Tony Busby. He started rounding up more plaintiffs. He began to realize what he had here, and the next thing you know, there's 22 cases. And they almost settled him in April of last year. Busby wants confidentiality as to the amount. Watson and Rusty Hardin, who's involved at that point, wants no confidentiality, basically so they could brag to everybody about how little they paid these plaintiffs to make them go away. Falls apart then. They tried last October to pay everybody $100,000. All but 4 were willing to take it. Deshaun didn't want to do some, most, almost all. He wanted all or nothing. Falls apart then. So now he realizes, let's just knock out the cases that we can get. And whether it's 100, whether it's another 0, whether it's somewhere in between, who knows? But 20 of the 24, and I wouldn't be surprised to find out it's the same 4 holdouts. I don't know that yet. That hasn't been disclosed. The only person that we know did not settle is Ashley Solis, the very first plaintiff, plus 3 others. But this is an effort to end this. And this is what Deshaun Watson needed to do. Take his reckoning, find a way to achieve an amount that constitutes justice from the perspective of the individuals who are accepting it, and move on. And this greatly streamlines the process going forward. Trying 4 cases takes a hell of a lot less time than trying 24 cases. So this is a good development overall for Deshaun Watson. Doesn't mean he won't be suspended. Doesn't mean he'll be suspended any less than what he was going to be suspended. It just clears away 20 cases that would have had to have been dealt with in a court of law, start to finish, and it would have caused this thing to linger probably into 2024 if you only have the off season to do these trials. So this is the first huge step toward Deshaun Watson putting this behind him.
Well, Brian McCarthy, NFL spokesman, saying, quote, today's development has no impact on the collectively bargained disciplinary process. Read between lines for me on that one, if there are lines to be read between.
There are no lines to read. It's absolutely 100% accurate. It has no impact. It has no effect. It's a separate branch of the justice system. You've got the criminal, you've got the civil, and then you've got this in-house NFL-created justice system aimed at matching the expectations of the public with whatever consequences ultimately imposed on Deshaun Watson. And I was told last week the NFLPA bracing for an unprecedented suspension. Mark Maskey of the Washington Post said that probably means 1 year, and that's the proposal. Where it ends up through the disciplinary process remains to be seen. So that's still coming. And if anything, and look, settling a case doesn't mean that you're conceding that you did anything wrong. But there are a lot of people out there who will look at a settlement and say, if you really didn't do anything wrong, why are you settling? And there are many reasons to settle something even if you did nothing wrong. In some cases, the settlement amount is less than what it will cost you to pay for your legal fees from now till the end of the case. So it becomes a business decision that is made without passion and with pure objectivity. But people don't want to hear that. They're going to assume that he paid, therefore he must have done something. And, Rich, something I just posted, once I got a chance to start to get my brain around this. With one plaintiff and a confidentiality provision, pretty difficult for that information to ever come out because they put some language in the agreement that gives it real teeth. Typically, there's a liquidated damages clause that says if you blab, we can come get all the money back. So people shut up. When you got 20, somebody's going to blab because that person can hide among the other 19 and say, I didn't do it. How are you going to prove I did it? So you find a reporter that you trust, and you tell the reporter the amount or show the settlement agreement, whatever the case may be. I think it's going to get out. I think it's inevitable that we'll know what Deshaun Watson paid.